worship. We worship.
Ndi masiari batho bothe ndi ba dumedisa nga dzina la Khosi Jesu masiaring anamusi nga dzina ndife Maboku Mangena. I will be the program director for the day. I see the time is 5 minutes to 1. Earlier on, when I stepped up here, I indicated that we will be starting. The family was still finalizing. And indeed, I was told that the starting time will be exactly 1 o'clock. So we are about to start. Let me take this moment to welcome everyone in attendance, the Rambau family, the Matumba family, the MRS family, colleagues, friends, all of us who are gathered here today in memory of our sister Lizzy Tshavhungwe Rambau. I have been assigned the responsibility to direct this program. Each one of us has in her or her possession the program, a word or two about our departed sister. Without wasting much time, may I ask and do the opening prayer.
Karibonye ndi tetabelo kotsi mukethwa mudzimu muhuluhulu ane apfi mudala othe ndiwe ro kuvhangana pa dendeni mathaba manamusi nge Lizzy varisiya tikorabela nga dzina la Jesu Kristo nga vurangaphanḓa mudzimu muya mukhethwa iyi hei programu khaive yavhuḓi u tou bva thomoni vha to swikela ri tshi i fhedza. Ndi khou kumedza vhoṱhe vhane vha vha zwiambi vha kha program uri vha fariswe nga iwe murena. Tshedza tshau tsho vhonetshela fhano kha riṋe ndi masiari, kha iwe a huna vhusiku, a huna masiari. Tshedza tshau ndi iwe tshifhano nga dzina la Jesu, amen.
I have not received any indication that there's going to be any change on the program. So the program would be followed as it is. That the pastor had officially opened the service, shall I request Mr. or Mrs. Nzeru to come and do the welcome?
Macheloni kana masiari vhathu vhoṱhe ri khou vha ṱanganedza fhano muḓini wa Rambau. Nṋe ndi pfhi Lutendo Nzeru. I am here to welcome everyone. Tsho tou thoma ri ḓo humbela uri vhathu vha vhe founu dzavho kha silent, and musi ri kha tshifhinga tsha COVID ri ḓo humbela uri vhathu vhoṱhe vha dzule vho ambara mimaski yavho. Vhathu vho no ṱoḓea bungani, bunga ḽashu ḽi nga fha murahu wa dende, na uri ri ḓo humbela uri vhathu vhane vha ḓo tendela u dzhena fhano dendeni ndi vhane vha vha kha list nga u pfufhadza Rolivhuwa.
Rolivhuwa Bunzeru. Now that we are settled down, shall I then request Mr. Vuledzani Mativa to come and pay tribute to Ms. Rambau?
Okay, now listen.
Greetings to all of you. Let me start by saying that I've been accused so many times that when I take the podium, I take too long to finish. So in order for me not to take too much time, I took the liberty to jot something down, which is, as all of you can see, it's just a one page. So it means that I won't take too much of your time because I will just be reading what I've written. Let me begin by relating to you the story between the contract, the assassin, and the mark. The assassin executes the killings ordered by the contract, and the mark is the one who does the killing. Oh. No, the mark is the one who's going to be killed. I beg your pardon. So the mark says to the assassin, when I first saw you, I was not afraid. I was only wondering why you were wearing those boots. The assassin does not reply. the mark begins to beg and said, whatever they're paying you, say you didn't find me, and I will pay you double. What the assassin does is to terminate the mark. So what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is that death is the principled assassin. No matter what you offer it to spare your life, it will not negotiate, but execute what has been ordered by the powers that be. We are all marks. When it is time to go, no amount of negotiation will help us. Like a principled assassin, death ends up victorious. I met this amazing woman after my admission as an attorney, and surprisingly, she sold me a bib. For those in the profession will know what a bib is. That thing that we put here, which is white, when we go to court. So the first bib that I wore, I actually purchased it from her. I had heard about her, but did not really know her. When I was appearing in motion court on Thursdays, she too was mostly there moving her matters. Then one day, she and Benny Gogo, the one that we just buried not long ago, recruited me to join the Tando Attorneys Association. And she's the one who received my first subscription. What a coincidence. I was also encouraged to join the Black Lawyers Association, of which I did. So over the years, we enjoyed a cordial relationship of trust. A messenger can bear witness to that there were certain things that she would order, that it was for my eyes only. That is, apart from her colleagues that she worked with, it will only be me who has had sight of that document. So that shows that we had a level of trust with each other. She called me by my first name in a shortened form, Vule. And I will respond to her by saying, Tshavhungwe. Then the conversation will ensue. When my principal died in June this year, she was amongst the many colleagues of mine who called just to check on me. She said, Vule, are you fine? And I said, yes. What remains is to bury the remains, and life goes on. So to her children, her mother, and the entire family, I say to you that there is nothing time cannot heal. To you, Mr. Matobo, the remaining director of MRS, now you have the responsibility on your shoulder to see to it that the vision that you had with Tshavhungwe and the late Benny Gogo is carried through. The Tando Attorneys Association is the host association. So, like I said in my introduction, I don't want to be accused of talking too much. So I will leave for the others to come and talk and share their experience which they had with Tshavhungwe. Of course, there is so much that we can talk about her, but with the limited time that we got, it can't be. I say, go well, my friend. I thank you.
Is it on? Oh, okay. Thank you, DJ, for making it easy for me. I'm told this is mine, right? Yeah. Prodibo Matiba, for those kind and comforting words that you have rendered on behalf of Thohoyandou Tennis Association. There is no gainsaying the fact that Ms. Rambau could be trusted, and I attest to that fact that she was one person who could not betray the trust bestowed upon her. The next speaker, it's supposed to be the Black Lawyers Association. Earlier in the day, I had a discussion with Mr. Matobo, who indicated to me that the leadership of the BLA in the province had indicated to him that arrangements have been made for one member of the BLA to be in attendance and speak on its behalf. And when I looked around, I could not find, I could not see that person. And on the instruction of Mr. Matobo, I am going to just say one or few words for and on behalf of the Black Lawyers Association, an organization that Ms. Rambau joined very early in her life as a professional, as a legal practitioner, as an attorney, after completing her studies. Mr. Mativa told you that Ms. Rambau joined Thohoyandou Attorneys Association as early as around 1997. But that would have been at the same time that she, together with her partners, joined the BLA. And you would recall that that would have been almost just 3 years after the country had experienced independence. They together, Lizzy together with her partners, were the pioneers who were trying to find way for the integration of society. There is one story that is not told about the route that the profession traveled after 1994. There was something called Vendor Law Society. And Vendor Law Society was a society that was only responsible for the regulation of the affairs of the legal practitioners in the then vendor homeland. I remember personally having lengthy discussion with the late Mr. Sigogo, Mr. Matobo, and Ms. Rambau. Amongst them, they were the first practitioners in the then vendor to affiliate with the Law Society of the Northern Provinces. And they made it their mission to make sure that there is proper integration of practitioners in the country. And they refused to be attorneys or practitioners of a Bantustan. Mr. Matobo will remember that after completing his studies, he went to the University of Zululand, University of Natal. And when he came back, he was very charged to say that I've left the Bantustan to go and live in South Africa, so to speak. And I've seen and I've realized that we are one people. And he, together with her colleagues, including Ms. Rambau, they had to make sure that the integration of society that the country's constitution talks about gets to be realized. They committed themselves to make sure that the BLA produces, I mean the MRS as a law firm, produces as many practitioners as it can possibly do under very trying circumstances. On behalf of the BLA, that I am privileged to be its member, we want to convey our condolences to the family, to the MRS family, and to the children of Ms. Rambau, whom we were privileged to share so much with, including when she availed herself to serve as the acting judge in our province and in our division, where she dispensed justice to all. With those few words, consider them to be from the Black Lawyers Association. I am just its mouthpiece. Shall we then move forward and ask Ms. Esther Sadiki to come and say a few words for and on behalf of MRS Inc.
Everything that you need, but I cannot turn back the years. The perfect love was all you wanted from me.
Masiari vhathu vhoṱhe ndi ḓo thoma hetshi tshipiḓa nga nḓila hei. Nṋe na vho Lizzy, Rambau, vho Mathobo, vho Benedict Sigogo, na vho Sikhwari ro thoma hava kha Thumulovhedzi u bva 97 u swika 99. Haya ha vhumbiwa tshiimiswa tshi no pfhi Mathobo Rambau Sigogo Athenisi nga 99. Zwone zwa zwo ima nga nḓila hei. Ro ṱangana kha Thumulovhedzi nga ṅwaha wa 1998 u swika 99. Nga 99 nga August, vho Mathobo Rambau na vho Sigogo vha ya vha vula khamphani Mathobo Rambau Sigogo Athenisi. Ye ya thoma u shuma ina vhashumi vhaṋa na vhone dzi director tharu ra vha 7. Havha vhathu vhararu vho shuma vhukuma, vho Lizzy vho shuma vho ḓifunga vhukuma lwe khamphani ya hula ha ḓivha na vhashumi vhanzhi na dzi candidate attorney na dzi PA. Vhunzhi ha dzi PA dze ra shuma navho zwa zwino vho no ḓivulela dzavho dzi law firm. Vho Lizzy vho shuma kha division ya divorce civil na transfer. Vho vha sa ṱoḓi zwithu, vha tshi ṱoḓa zwithu zwo dzudzanyeaho zwa vhudele kha mushumo wavho. Ndo imela vhashumi vha MRS ro vhaisala vhukuma ngauri ro vha ro wana mme na vhukhotsi hanefho. Musi zwithu zwi sa khou tshimbila zwavhuḓi ra ri tshi kona u ya khavho, mma hu na hezwi na hezwi vha ri hai yani kha Vho Mathobo. Ra ri hai riṋe a ri kha Vho Mathobo nga mulayo wa Tshivenḓa vhana vha ya kha mme vha ḓo kona u ya kha khotsi. Zwino zwi tshi ralo a ri tsha ḓivha zwo ri ro hanganea vhukuma. Mulaedza u no khou bva kha sekirithari wavho wo ima nga nḓila hei, u khou bva kha Tshilidzi. Ndo shuma navho miṅwaha minzhi, miṅwaha ya 16. Ndo ḓa ndi sa ḓivhi mushumo mara vha nkonḓelela vha mpfunza zwithu zwinzhi. Vho vha sa tu vha boso yanga fhedzi, vho vha tshi tou nga sa mukomana wanga. Ndo ḓo ṱuvha vosi yavho vha tshimbidzela vha tshi ri Tshilidzi. Fhedzi zwithu zwoṱhe wo ḓivha Mudzimu, muya wavho wo eḓele nga mulalo. Livhuwa.
I also know Chilidzi, but I can't point her out. Because every time you wanted something from Ms. Rambau, she would always say that Adorindambe na Chilidzi. And within minutes, whatever you were looking for or asking for, It will be on your email inbox, and or she would call. It is true that she was approachable, and whatever issues that you went to see him with or on, she was able to provide a solution. Shall we then ask MRS Inc. Management, represented by Mr. LG Matobo, to come and say a few words?
I found love in you, and I've learned to love me too. Never have I felt that I could be all that you see. It's like our hearts have intertwined into the perfect harmony. This is why I love you. Ooh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me. This is why I love you. Ooh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me. I found love in you, and no other love will do. Every moment that you smile chases all the pain away. Forever and a while, in my heart is where you'll stay. And this is why I love you. Ooh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me. This is why I love you. Oh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me.
Ndi masiari kha vhathu vhoṱhe ndi tshifhinga tshine tsha khou konḓa nga maanḓa kha nṋe. Fhedziha mudzimu u a ḓivha uri why o tenda zwi tshi tea nga u tou rali. O zwi vhona uri ri ḓo zwi kona, and o zwi vhona uri ri ḓo zwi pfesesa. Ndo prepara tshipitshi tshanga tshine ndi ḓo tou tshi vhala. To the members of the legal profession, members of Thohoyandou Attorneys Association, members of MRS, colleagues, to the family, in particular the children, siblings, and her mother, and everyone who is gathered here. This is indeed a very difficult moment. I sat down thinking of what I would say today. my mind just went blank. Myself, Lizzy, and the late Benedict Sigogo, we have been knowing each other for over 25 years. Between myself and Lizzy, there is a difference of almost 4 years. But you would come to our office, you would never notice the difference. You would even think that we are of the same age. That's how accessible, that's how friendly, that's how lovely Lizzy was to all of us. In 1999, myself and the late Benedict Sigogo and Lizzy, we started our practice. When we started, it was still a partnership where we came together, we sat down, we agreed we are going to start a business. It was fine and good. We worked together. At some point, we agreed that, look, we need to have this company registered so that if either of us can go, the company will just continue. If it's just a partnership, if either of us go, it will mark the end of it. We indeed have the company registered, which is now called Matobo Rambau and Sigogo Incorporated. It started so well, with all smiles on our faces, all eager to work and to be successful. As young men and women having dreams that we would love this company to grow bigger and bigger, if not from strength to strength. We never expected, in our wildest dreams, we never expected that today I'll be left alone. I never expected it. I remember last week, after the burial of Mr. Sigogo, I sat down with Lizzy. I said, Lizzy, you know, I thank God for your presence. And thank God for my presence as well. Because when I shed tears over the passing of our colleague, you will wipe all my tears. When you shed tears, I will wipe all your tears. And it will make the burden easier for all of us. Little did we know that in a space of just a week, I'll be left alone. I asked myself a lot of questions. Why all this? Why all this? I couldn't get answers. I received so many calls from so many people who told me that, you know what, Rufuno, God knew all this will happen. And God saw amongst the three of you, God saw it befitting that you'll carry the banner forward. And this is not a mistake. And you need to soldier on. Those were some of the words that I received which made me strong. I want to be honest with you. When Kensani called me on Monday, I was on my way to Polokwane. She was crying. In fact, She instructed somebody to call me and pass the news. Immediately I called Kensani. I spoke with her. Kensani, what happened? She explained to me what happened. I was shattered. Because on Friday, I spoke with her. Saturday, we were laughing. Sunday, we were laughing. But on Monday morning, I'm told Lizzy's not there anymore. It was really sad. I went to the house. Her body was still in the house. I said to the kids, where is she? They directed me to the bedroom. I went to the bedroom. She was covered by the blanket. I opened the blanket, and indeed, Lizzy was not there anymore. It became a reality, which I need to live with it. Lizzy was a very good person. All members of the staff in our office, they will tell you, Lizzy was a very good person. To an extent that we even took a decision that Lizzy would manage all our finances in the office. That's how honest, trustworthy, and hardworking she was. Remember, she was the only lady. And with us men, most of us were not disciplined. We all know that. But with her strictness, as she was, she could manage to handle all the finances of the company, which led to where the company it is today. The previous speaker indicated that she was like a mother in the office. Yes, that is true. 90% of our staff members are women. And whenever they've got problems, you can imagine, they would never come to me first. They would look for a woman next to them. They will always rush to Lizzy for whatever problem, whether work-related or personal problem, they will rush to Lizzy. And Lizzy was always receptive. She was always there for all of them. It is true, in some instances, she would refer them to me. They would say, no, Mr. Rambau, no, not to Mr. Matop. We want to discuss this with you. And she will sit down with them. That's how Lizzy was. In her work, she was very exceptional. She was managing civil litigation and family law and property division in our office. I can tell you with all certainty that she was a master of her work. And if you are working in her department, Koketsa will bear witness to this. She wanted her work to be done with precision. You need to be precise. She would always impress on the fact that if you're working on your file, make sure that your file is in order so that the next person who would come and open your file would just know what is happening on that file. You don't have to go all around asking people what is happening. The file should tell you what is happening. That's how Lizzy was. And she was very strict when it comes to that. And no wonder her work was always excellent. She will never compromise for less. She was a member of Tando Attorneys Association and BLA. And I remember when we sat down as an office taking a decision to join these organizations. It was after we had realized that in our legal profession, we still need a very serious transformation. Because black attorneys and white attorneys were not treated the same. We then seconded that Mr. Gogo, because he was seriously into politics, would be the one would lead this journey. And leading that journey, you don't benefit anything financially. It is the company which runs at a loss. We had to finance that journey massively. When Mr. Gogo was traveling all over, the company had to finance for accommodation and travelings. We never minded about that because we knew it was the journey that we had to embark, which at the end of the day, we needed to succeed. And we are happy, Mr. Mangena, today, that our legal profession, through, amongst others, Mrs. Gogo and other members of the BLA, did manage to bring it where it is today. And had Ms. Rambau and myself not supported Mrs. Gogo on this journey, or on this fight, I do not believe that we would have been here today. We are going to miss Lizzy's support and words of encouragement every day. We always celebrated achievements in our office. I remember when Lizzy was appointed to act as a judge in Tando High Court and Polokwane, we celebrated it. And remember, by then, Mr. Gogo was serving in the leadership of the BLA. He was always out of the office for almost 4 years. Lizzy had to leave the office and go to Polokwane to serve in the bench. I was left alone in the office for almost a month and 2 weeks. But we celebrated that. We never minded that now that I'm left alone, it means they're not supporting me. We supported each other throughout. That's how united we were. And today when I'm standing here, I'm always asking myself, how am I going to proceed under these circumstances? I, however, believe that with the grace of God, God will help me and pull me through. And the legacy of MRS will continue. It will continue from strength to strength. God left me behind for a reason. I may not know the reason now, but I believe in no time God will reveal his reasons why he left me behind. To maybe to some of us here, most of the people knew that Lizzy was a lawyer. But some didn't know that Lizzy was just born an entrepreneur. Other than practicing law, Lizzy had other business enterprises outside that she was engaged into. She used to sell cleaning materials. I remember when she started her accommodation business, when she started One Oak Lodge, she came to us, I'm starting a lodge, we celebrated it. She started building it. It became functional. We all celebrated it. Be that as it may, her commitment to the office was still enormous, despite the fact that on the other side she was running her own business. That's the level of commitment that Lizzy had. which we're going to miss, all of us. To MRS, the passing on of Lizzy constitutes an irreplaceable loss to the office. We all love Lizzy as she was. We all know that when Lizzy is in the office, you will hear her by calling, Koketso, Lizzy. I remember the other day I said to her when I was in the office, when she was busy calling Lizzy, I said, Lizzy, everybody has got a phone in his or her office. Why don't you just pick up a call and phone that person? And this is how she responded to me. Matabo, the phone will delay me. And it is so amazing. Lizzy's office was so far from Lizzy's office. But she would hear her calling, Lizzy. Lizzy will go running to her office. We're going to miss those callings. To Lizzy's mother and children, God allowed this to happen for a reason. God will never allow us to carry the load which is beyond our ability. No matter how dark it may be, God will bring his light. Let us not make death proud. MRS will always be there for you. Doors will never be closed. To the grandmother, you no longer have Kensani and Pathu as your grandchildren. They are now your children. They will always come to you for anything. Please take care of them. In my conclusion, Lizzy has run her race. She has departed to be with her master. We shall as well follow her someday. We will never change what happened. We all need to accept it regardless of how painful it may be. We pray to God that he grants us strength and peace through these trial times. May her soul rest in peace, and we will forever love you. Thank you.
I love you. Ooh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me.
Thank you, Mr. Matobo, for those kind words. Indeed, it is a heavy load. But the fact that it is heavy doesn't mean that it can't be carried. It requires strength, it requires fortitude. The pastor will, at a later stage, come and tell you where to draw your strength. There are verses in the book of life where yourself and each and every member of the MRS, the Rambau family, will need to look at and draw strength to survive this journey. Shall we now call Advocate Sikwari, MS, to come and say his tribute?
Let me say that I'm feeling the pain of standing before you, a stunned audience, speaking to an emotionally devastated family, speaking to shocked friends, and speaking to a bruised legal profession at large. When Mr. Matobo informed me on Monday that our sister is gone, I recall what I could tell him was that my friend, I don't know what to tell you, and I'm not going to tell you anything, because this is beyond my understanding, and I think it's beyond even the understanding of those who are regarded as the wise among the humans. I said to him, arali ndibe nditsina inu mngani wangai, ndaḓa nda to ima phanḓa ano ndi khou imagina pheni yoṱhe ya mushumoni na mini na vhukonani hoṱhe, maybe nda ḓo sokou lila nda humela murahu ndi songo amba tshithu ngauri a thi ḓivhi uri ndi ambe mini. That even now nda founela khensani kana nda muvhona, I don't know what to tell her. Then I just don't know that this is beyond our understanding. Ndichi vhudziwa pfhi ndi ḓo amba ndo pfhi ndi ḓo vha ndo imela advocates ngauri I'm an advocate, mara kha program nda vha na vhuṅwala uri colleague, zwi a fana, it makes no difference. Mofosiwa ngauri Lizzy ndi muḓivha from many angle ya colleague, angle yo vha advocate, angle ya u vha khonani, na angle yo vha sibling khaladzi. Then sa zwe vha Esther vha amba uri ro ḓivhana u bva murahu hangei, on a background Lizzy nṋe nda sa muḓivhi, ne vhangani vhanga ndi Mathobo na Benisgog. Ro ṱangana university nga 1991 ri khou ita law, ra go through, ra attend all the classes together. Then fast forward nga 1997 nṋe na Mathobo ra tholiwa khathihi u ita articles ya khathu mulovhedzi ya tennis na Justice Ngaletsani wa vha mngani wa Lufuno. Then when we were there later 1997, Benisgogo na Lizzy Rambau vha ḓa vha ri joina khathu mulovhedzi na vhone vha vho ita articles legal aid, Justice Center ine zwino ya Bafala Metropolitan yo thoma Univeni i tshi pfi legal aid board, vho ita articles there, I think ndi vhone group yo thoma. Then vha ḓa vha ri joina nge ha mulovhedzi. That is when na was happy uri mngani wanga Beni zwino o ḓa fha ri khou shuma roṱhe. That is when I became a friend to Lizzy. Mara vhukonani hanga na Lizzy a ngo thoma in a good note ngauri ho thoma nge uri a kha ḓi tou bva ri joina havha na iṅwe vhege ye havha hu na phepho na mvula i khou na vhege yoṱhe. Nṋe ndo vha ndi na hemmbe yanga iṅwe ine nda i funa ya dark maroon, nda i ambara Monday, nda i ambara Tuesday, nda i ambara Wednesday. On Thursday Lizzy came to my office, I square, what's going on? Hey, hembe no ambara from Monday and I no go ambara na vest nga ngomu. I ma pick up Monday, Tuesday we and then chesa ni haya ni ndo niko mona na hey hembe na dovana dana yo mushumoni. No, this is not right. I was quite unhappy. Umfumaka so imara define na to confront go right. Then I didn't like it. Mara later I discovered no mara ukwamba ngo, how on earth do I repeat a shirt twice and even without wearing a vest? Now ndambara vest why ndichinga dovula luvili ndone athoma lwendo lwanga lwa vhudele na vhudele ra fa tovha tsikhonani vhukonani o thoma henefho. Then from then we became friends. When she came to Mulovhedzi Tennis, she was assigned to do high court litigation. Yeah, she was doing high court. I was doing debt collection. Rufuna was doing civil. Benia daita RAF. Mashudu Mjelele was doing RAF as well. From that office in 1998, your producer, Femea MRS, your producer, 3 acting judges in the form of me, Lizzy Rambau na Benisgog. Your producer, another permanent judge in the form of Mashudu Mjelele. There are 4 judges emanated from that firm. Then that's a great outstanding feat. Here, Katumurovezi, I see a Karine, Rod. Ro trainer bulare nge bomurovhedzi vha ḓa vha lovha tshifhinga tshe vha lovha ngatsho. MRS ya kona ya formiwa. Nṋe passion yanga yo bva ya vha advocate. Then I went to the bar with a pupillage. Then when I was doing pupillage, I met the BLA. I was one of the lucky 3 pupils who were funded by the BLA. The money which they were paying me as a subsistence was twice more than the salary I was getting. Therefore, pupillage at Hongo Ifi Langa Bangala BLA. Ever since then I've been with the BLA. Then that's that. Mara, ndichongwamba nga Lizzy as a friend. Bukonani asho, musi ndichi vhuya pupillage. Lizzy ndi vhuṅwe vhathu vho thoma umphatsi brief. She was one who briefed me a lot. Nṋe na Lufuno ri same age. Then Lizzy zwi amba uri fhira about 4 years. Mara, and Lizzy ova senior yanga nga ro admitwa phanḓa hanga 3 or 2 years ahead of me. Mara na zwo ralo, she had great confidence on me. achimpa brief de facto ndo vha ndi tshi tonga na nne ndi partnera MRS ndi tshi tonga nne ndi rana high court litigation ngauri when Lizzy was doing high court litigation, family law, wherever they are contested divorce, I was always there to argue them for the fair. Na case yanga yo trauma ya Supreme Court of Appeal Bloemfontein ndo yando brief wanga Lizzy ndichiko hana no I can't go to Bloemfontein. Opponent yanga was a professor of law from University of Cape Town and a senior advocate. Nendo ndiche junior, baby junior of less than 5 years. I can't go and argue against a professor and a senior counsel. I can't. I don't know, you are going. Try. We went there, we argued, and we rawina. On top of a reported case, that means to rate us some contribution on the law. Uvapo Supreme Court of Appeal Lunji na Lizzy, and Lunji reach here. Majority of my reported judgments from Supreme Court of Appeal are the ones where I went with the late Lizzy Rambau. Then she has shaped my career, but not me alone. I inquired among a number of my colleagues as advocates. She's one kind of an attorney who preferred on briefing advocates when it comes to matters of the High Court. She's one kind of an attorney and a briefer. On top of a briefer, more importantly, she will pay you in time. And she will pay you the right money which you have to be paid. She will pay you in time and she will pay you the right money. And she preferred on nobody briefing a month. To show that she was spreading the work. And she's a model attorney, Lunekarnet's advocate. We feel that we've lost a friend in the attorney's profession. We've lost a pillar who was strengthening the profession of the advocates. Ndingamba zinji nga Lizzy, it is a friend or an advocate. Mara, we feel that we wish that though she has gone untimely, at a time which in our human mind, we are not happy with it. We feel it's too soon. We feel we're still expecting a lot from her. We're still expecting her to ascend the bench. Mara, one important thing I want to mention is that, as far as I recall, when Lizzy became an attorney around 1999, when she was admitted, 1999 when she was admitted, I am not aware of any other female attorney around the Vembe area who has been admitted in the High Court in Thohoyandou or practicing as such. In my recollection, and the current profession, 24 profession, practice, and in my recollection of 24 years, I'm not aware of any attorney who admitted before Lizzy Rambau. To me, she happened to be the first female black attorney to be admitted in our court in Thohoyandou and a law firm. I'm aware that now there are a lot of law firms run by women. Then that makes Lizzy to be, by our standards, a pioneer, a pathfinder, one who lived an exemplary life and showed to everyone that he has to say and she has done it all. She has become a judge, which is the highest office in the legal profession, to become a judge. She became a judge. She dispensed justice. Immediately the news of her death came in. A number of my colleagues in the Limpopo Society of Advocates were sharing in the society's group, WhatsApp group. They were sharing their experience, especially those from Polokwane, their experience which they've encountered with her on the bench, how she gave the bench that humane touch, that feminine touch, which make the bench and the court more friendly. A court may be, especially a high court, it may be very intimidating at times. But with judges like Boma Bukumanya and Lizzy, you find it right. Then that's the Lizzy I know. In conclusion, Lizzy Batura Divorova Loyara, Boma Tobobambor over entrepreneur, Mara. On top of that, Lizzy was a traditional healer. Then we could talk anything about traditional healing, the ancestral calling, the skill and art of interpreting bones. But there's one incident which happened between Lizzy and I, we were celebrating one of our many victories in court at Coroni Hotel. Then we were having lunch. It was Lizzy, myself, and the late former sheriff of the High Court at Thoyando Rally Pass. Then when we were having lunch, then Lizzy complained that, no, man, Sidwell, I'm feeling sleepy. The way I'm so sleepy, I know that I can feel that I have to go home and sleep. There must be a message which the ancestors want to give to me. Then she cut short the lunch, she went home. Few days later then, of course, without telling me names, few days later she told me how that day she went home to sleep and the kind of dream she had, the kind of medication she had to collect. And a day later, there came a patient with a life-threatening situation which needed exactly the kind of medication and treatment which she got that day. Then that is the Lizzy I know, the Lizzy who was open and friendly. And many of young colleagues will go to her, male and female, will go to her for counseling, will go to her for guidance when they feel like giving up. And she will always give you courage. Then those are the virtues which Lizzy has left us with. Ethics. She was a highly ethical person. When you talk to her anything in confidence, how embarrassing it may be, you know it will remain between you and her. Maybe it's because she was involved in two professions, traditional medicine and law, which both require high standard of confidentiality and integrity. I think that's made her more outstanding. And she was a person who loved progression and prosperity of other people. And when she can see you sounding disturbed, she will just tell him that, no, Sidwell, today in court you were not right. What was wrong with you? Then I'll try to hide it. Later I'll tell her what the problem was, and she will try to be part of the solution. Those are the kind of virtues which she has left us with.
Thank you, Advocate Sukwari. Thank you. We have indeed lost a mother, an advisor, and someone dedicated to her work, someone very ethical. And Advocate Sukwari, you should not be afraid to say it. There are attorneys there who don't pay advocates, and that is wrong. Those who are members of the BLA should know that that is actually unacceptable. If you ask someone to do work for you, you should actually be able to pay that person. The Bible says, treat others the way you'd want to be treated. And it's just the human way of life. If your client pays you as an attorney and you hire an advocate, pay the advocate. It's as simple as that. And says Lizzy would not have anything to do with those kind of people who are lazy, are unethical, and almost unprofessional. And that is why she had time to do all these things for the benefit of all of us. Shall I ask Me Buchilo or Ntate Buchilo to come and speak for and on behalf of One Oak staff?
Ndikholivhuwa tshifhinga tshe nda tshifhiwa uri ndi ḓe ndi ambe ndo imela vhashumi vha One Oak. Miṅwahani ya murahu ho vha hu tshi ṱanga dzime, vho bvelela sa murunwa o rumiwaho, vha dzhia shango ḽa Mashawana vha ye vha ḽi vhea kha mapa. Vho vha mme a re na lufuno, vho vha mukomana kha vheiwe, vho vha khaladzi kha vheiwe, vho vha makhulu kha vhana vhashu. Maipfi avho ene vha ri ṱuṱuwedza ngaho ri ḓo dzulela u a shumisa. rine sa vhashumi ro xelelwa zwihulu. Zwivhuya zwavho ri ḓo zwi elelwa, ri ḓo farana sa zwe vha ri funza zwone. Ro vha ri tshi dzula fhasi ra seya, nga tshifhinga tsho seya, nga tshifhinga tsho shuma ra shuma. Zwa zwino ri khou lila, mara mishumo yavho ri khou i vhona. Nda ḓo ri kha mukomana wanga, muratsi wanga, kha ri farane sa zwe vha vha ri funza zwone, vha eḓele nga mulalo nga vhashumi vha One Oak.
There is strength in unity. Bone kha vha bvele phanḓa vha farane, zwi ḓo tshimbila. The next speaker is Khonani Ndivo Morini Sitholimela, Dr. Nagambi na Volo Tendo Nzeru. Kha vha ḓe khathihi vha ḓo amba nga u tevhelana.
You were always there to comfort me. And no one else can be what you have been to me. You will always be, you will always be the girl in my life for all time. Mama, mama, you know I love you.
Yeah, indeed, life is unpredictable. Life is uncertain. Nendo ima ndo imela dzikhonani. Kha dzikhonani ndi zwa vhukuma zwo rina ro xelelwa lwa tshoṱhe. Lizzy was not just a friend but a great friend. Lizzy a tshi funa muthu o vha sa pretend. O vha a tshi funa nga mbilu yawe yoṱhe. Ndi zwinzhi zwine muthu anga amba nga Lizzy na vhaambi vho fhiraho zwiṅwe zwa zwithu zwe nda vha ndi khou nyaga u zwi amba vho no ḓi zwi amba. Lizzy o vha na lufuno lwo fhelelaho. Ndi zwinzhi zwe ra guda khaye sa dzikhonani. Lizzy musi u tshi khou tshila naye o vha a tshi kona u swikelelea. She lived like just any other, just an ordinary person. Lune vhathu vhanzhi vha vha sa kona u pfesesa uri, like for example ndi khou humbula zwi tshi ḓa kha nṋe vhaṅwe vhathu vha tshi nga vhusa vha ri vhaḽa mufumakadzi mara inwi ni to tshilisani navho nne ri a vha ofha. Vhone vha tshi khou sedza status tsha muthu, hu tshi tou vhori vha vha sathu swikelela hune vha ḓiwana vha tsini naye. Mara vhathu vhe vha ḓiwana vha tsini na Lizzy zwine nda khou amba zwone vha zwi ḓivha. Lizzy o vha tshi kona u tshilea naye. Musi u naye zwa mushumoni zwo vha zwi tshi sala mushumoni, a ra ḓiphina ra seya ra amba mara zwa mushumoni zwi mushumoni. Lizzy o vha a sina pride, hezwiḽa zwine wa wana muthu a tshi ḓikukumusa. Hu na dziṅwe dzikhonani dzine sometimes musi u tshi tshila nadzo ndi uri you must feel them. Mara Lizzy ro vha ri sa koni u mu fiḽa uri Lizzy ndi muthu wa maimo o swikaho ngafhi. Ro vha ri tshi ḓiwana ri kha kiḽasi nthihi. Ndi na let me open. Ndi na poem ye nda i lugisela Lizzy. I vhale nga nḓila hei. I live, Lizzy lived, we all live but once. Life with its ups and downs, life with its twists and turns, life with its unpredictability and uncertainty. It is an indication that we are all alive. But I say, I live. Lizzy lived. We all live but once. Many years ago, many decades ago, God in his own wisdom made Lizzy's path and mine to cross. We became sisters for life. We enjoyed our relationship. But today I can testify to all of you that I live, Lizzy lived, we all live but once. We had many plans that we shared together. We became inseparable and learned to become one. We became closer to each other in words and in deeds. Visiting each other was the best time for sharing, but not gossiping. But now I can only say I live. Lizzy lived. We all live, but once. Monday, when I heard the sad news of the passing of my dear friend, I was heartbroken and couldn't believe what said to me. I grieved deeply for the passing on of my dear friend, not just a friend, but a sister from another mother. I shall forever remember Lizzy as a dear friend and a confidant. Unfortunately, the reality is, I live, Lizzy lived, and we all live but once. Rest in peace, my dear friend. Ri ḓo dzulela u muelelwa. Anga vha nahone ndo xelelwa vhukuma ngauri tshifhinga tshoṱhe ndi ḓo tori ndi tshi founa a soko ri my dear uri mini my dear. So the word dear a ḽi soko shumiswa kha muthu muṅwe na muṅwe. The moment you use the word dear u vha tshi khou amba muthu ene a vha tsini, ene a vha mbiluni, ndi uri ene a tou vha tsinisese na iwe. A ho si nga vhi na ḓuvha ḽine Lizzy a tshi mbidza a soko ri Morini mara nda to mu lumelisa kana fhedzi a founa uri mini my dear. So that was the kind of a friend ye Lizzy a vha a yone. Ndi tenda uri na dziṅwe dzi khonani vho dzi nga vha dzi tshi khou fila zwine nṋe nda khou zwi fila. Ndo livhuwa.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you.
Ndiyalivhuwa mtshimbidza mushumo. Ndi tama u vha resha dzina ḽa mutshidzi washu Yesu Kriste, amen. Vhafunzi vhoṱhe, vhalidzi, vhana vha Rambau, vhathu vha bvaho kha nḓowetshumo ya mulayo, friends and colleagues, once again I greet you all. Ro kuvhanganywa hafha nga u pfuluwa kha ḽino ha ḽizhaka nḓila kha mulayo. I'm one of those few who are privileged. Ngoba tsini nabo. The wisdom, the intelligence, and the vast experience that she had was something out of this world. I know for sure she has left a void which will be almost impossible to fill. Ndikolivhuwa this opportunity ya uri ndi ḓe ndi ambe nga ḽizhaka nḓila mulayoni. Ndi vhushaka ho thomaho musi vha patient kha nṋe, musi ndi tshi khou vha alafha ngei sedzhareni. Ndo vho ḓo ri zwezwi ri khou tshimbila kha nḓila ya vhutshilo nda vha a client khavho, and we became each other's client. Vha tshi vhaisala vha tshi ḓa nda vha onga, ndi na zwiṅwevho ndi tshi ya khavho nga ine nḓila yo tou raloho. She was more of a mother to me, a mother that I lost so many years ago. You know, she was that woman who would say, no, we're not doing this, and it ends there. and you will have to just listen. And musi vha tshi khou zwi amba ngauralo vha vha khou zwi amba vho to dzika vho fhola. I will miss her calm expression even when addressing a very serious and difficult matter. She will always give a smile. Now zwi tshi khou konḓa. Her very famous words, I quote, "Ini ni ḓivha u ṱhavha dzhekiseni, mulayo u litsheleni nṋe," unquote. She took care of her health until her last moment. She died en route to seeking medical care. I think the last time ndi tshi vha vhona ho vha ho Friday, in the afternoon, somewhere there, when she was not well. We did some tests, Reuters the X-ray, just test zamalofha, which confirmed what we call congestive cardiac failure. And as well a chest infection. However, COVID test was negative. So it means she did not have COVID. You know, Lizzy however, in the midst, I think the Friday, we had planned Oringa Monday. She was supposed to go and see a specialist physician so that they can evaluate her further. But God had other ideas. It wasn't meant to be. She could not live long enough to reach that time on that particular Monday. Kamutai, you must cherish all the moments you spent with her. Maḓuvha avho a vhutshilo o vha tshi khou guma henefha. Fhedzi her legacy remains. Salani no farana, ni tshi funana, na u ṋeana ṱhonifho. This will give her a lot of peace. I know some muṱani a ḓivha dzi visions dzoṱhe dze vha vha nadzo. You know all the plans that she had. Salani tshi dzi bveledzisa. Vhashumisani, salani no fara tshitanda. Ni ite zwine na ḓivha uri vho vha vha tshi tama zwi tshi itiswa zwone. Vho lu tshimbila holo lwendo vho Rambau. God knew uri lu tea u ṱhaphuwa henefha. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Ndi a livhuwa.
Dang, who knew all the planes we flew, good things we've been through, that I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see it when I'm better.
Sorry, because we did a plan. Zwo nkonḓela nga maanḓa uri ndi ṅwale zwine ndi khou ṱoḓa u ṅwala zwone. Uri sia fhano shangoni ha Myakhentsi, no words can express. Na Khensani orali ndo balelwa u mu founela nda fhedza almost ḓuvha ḽoṱhe ndi khou ḓi vhudza zwori ndi ḓo ri mini khaye. Nda fhedzisela ndo sokou ḓi tou ḓisendela vho message uri kha konḓelele nahone ndi a mu funa. Myakhentsi vho tamba role khulwane nga maanḓa kha vhutshilo hanga, nga maanḓesa zwi tshi ḓa kha zwithu zwa business. Nṋe na Myakhentsi ri na business dzo fana. a hu ngo vhuya vha na ḓuvha na ḽithihi ḽe nda vha founela ndi tshi khou ṱoḓa advice zwi tshi ḓa kha business vha si nthuse. Ni musi customer dzo ḓala khawo vha tshi ḓi founa uri nga ngeo kha ini zwi khou tou itisa hani, ndi rumele vhathu vha ḓe na. Musi ndi khou ḓi engedza dzi room ndi tshi ḓi vha founela uri Mia Kentsi ri khou engedza ngana na ṅwaha badela nziro nṋe ndi khou ima ini ngori na mavu isani phanḓa. U xelelwa Mia Kentsi zwi khou vhavha, zwi khou vhavhesa, but nga maipfi maṱukuṱuku enea ndi ḓo ḓi amba uri Kentsi na Phathu vho zwi vhona uri vha tshi ri farisa hani. U semuwa ro ḓi semiwa vho na Kentsi. Ndi khou humbula ḽiṅwe ḓuvha Kentsi o vhuya nthwasa solo hono, a tshi nthwa ri khou tea u pota kha nṋe muthihi, vha ri mufarisi nda nda mufarisa zwi a fana, lawyer ni ḽa nthihi ndi vhone. Ḽo mbukuṱa Kentsi man, nda lila mara nda lila nda wana uri o rali Kentsi nda murwa zwi a fana, ri khou eḓela fhethu muḓini muthihi. Swika ngei hu ḓo semuwa nnyi a litshiwa nnyi, but in a few words ḓo ri Mia Kentsi vha eḓele nga mulalo. Ndaa.
Ro livhuwa vho Ausmorini, Dr. Nagambi and Mr. Nzeru for those kind and caring words and moments that you shared with us Lizzy. Zwa zwino ndi tshifhinga tsha uri hu ambe na vha muṱa. 3.8 its siblings. The representative is Avalatani.
Greetings in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Nende ko amba ndo katela mukomano wanga na vhani na khaladzi yanga na vhamnyadziwa. Nne ndi rafa ndi nne lupedzi ange hashu. A message to our sister. In you we had an amazing sister from our childhood. You cared for us and made sure we were okay. You were our problem solver. You were our advisor. After our father's passing, you took his position and you managed to play the different roles of being a father, mother, and a sister. My sister Lizzy, she used to discipline us in a good way, and she held our hands so we could walk in the right direction, in the right path. She taught us how to love and care for people around us. And on top of that, you also taught us that sharing is caring. While I was doing my matric, you took me into your home. You said I can't study alone. You used to wake up at night and study with me. You used to make sure that while I was doing notes, you were there. You used to teach me how to make those notes. You used to take care of my kids and provided for them as if they were your own. I'm blessed to call you a sister and also call you a friend. You have loved me unconditionally and stood with me through thick and thin. We will always love you and remember you. Thank you. May your soul rest in peace.
Indeed, may the beautiful soul of our black and beautiful sister rest in eternal peace. The next speakers are the children, Kensani and Padu Tsezo. May they come forth and share with us the good memories that they have with their mother.
I remember Mama and the love that she gave. Kneeling by her bedside, I can still hear Mama say, the people are depending on you, Shirley. Don't you let them down. I remember Mama in a happy way.
I'll be speaking on behalf of my sisters and the Vichirizi, Naban. A letter to Mama by Kensani. Indeed, wonders shall never end. It felt like a dream when our Abasa, we dearly called her, departed from the life. When we grew up, Mama played a very big role in raising us. We have seen how she championed through the valley and mountains for us to grow well and become better. Rambau, wochira sachi, samohaga asa opichit. She was determined in and for life. Every day she woke me up and said, this was simply because she believed in working hard and waiting for handouts. I learned this very early in my life, and it was persuaded me in doing greater without being necessarily anxious that I will fail. We had our hard times and differences together as a daughter and a mother, just like in any other family. But I learned that love conquers it all. Mama, when your health was losing shape since March this year, we started panicking and a lot was said and done. We were in and out of doctors with high convictions that you will recover. That's when you were gradually saying goodbye. I saw you battling with sickness in the last days, and now God came to took you. God came and took you and put you to rest. When you gave up your soul in the morning, you held my hand so tight, calling for help. For a moment I was terrified. But now I know that God took you from my hand to his.
They're living far apart.
All I could say in summary is that I love you so much, and I'm grateful for everything you have done for us as a family. You raised us well, and it was easy to raise my son Ibani. Now we have all what it takes to take the baton. Heaven has gained an angel. Thank you for everyone who helped us throughout the journey of sicknesses, family and friends.
When I was about 12 years old, I was going to church, playing church. How many of you used to play church? Let me see your hand. Yeah, some of you still play.
Now this is a message by Patu Chezo. A message to my mother, my dearest mother. You fought a great fight and you lived your life to the fullest. While I was growing up, you made sure to give me all the knowledge that you could and provided for both my sister and I. To your level best. You always encouraged me to do better for myself and realize that there is no limit to what I can do. I saw you every day waking up with strength and great mindset to always do better in your work and beat the system. Indeed, you were a hardworking human being, and we learned a lot throughout your work ethics. She was always determined to do and pull through in every obstacle that she was faced with. She had an amazing giving heart. On the last day, I saw you and hugged you goodbye, which was also the last day your grandson prayed for you. It was an amazing day. We will forever cherish the day we loved and drove together to Polokwane for 2 hours, and you could tell that you felt safe. We could tell that you felt safe with us, believing that everything will be fine. On that particular day, you said to us, "I can only fall asleep when I'm with you and Furuvero." I held your hand for the last time because we shared the same bed every day, and always held you always held mine tightly, and you felt safe holding my hand. You are also the first black female president to be admitted at the attorneys in Thoyando, which is why I decided to follow in your footsteps. I will always love you, and I will always miss you, and also missing sleeping next to you. I love you, Mother.
Into the perfect harmony. This is why I love you. Ooh, this is why I love you. Because you love me.
Muluanga, memuluanga, bobaba toya traka family. Bobaba wada. O wada ingwe lodu yane. Ahuna muthu ane anga ikona mara vhone vha tshi zwikona, ende zwi ambaisa ngori ro nga Thoya ṱiraka fhedziha ngori vho vha vha tshi ri gaida uri ri vule mabindu nga hune ra nga kona, ri ḓo ḓi sokou zama hanefhaḽa uri ri khipe legacy yavho i khou continue. Mara fhedziha zwi nga si tsha fana na kale. No nṋe ndi khou ri kha vhana vha miyanga ndi ri a ri farane ri songo lwa u swikela nga u sa fheli. Ngeletshedzo ro i wana, ro zwi vhona, ri tea u continue nga u tou rali vhana vha miyanga. Thank you.
This is why I love you. Oh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. A great tree has fallen, and it is understandable that he would feel this way. He's not only speaking for them, but he feels their pain. He shares their pain, and as a child, as a son who had lost a mother, he alone, and together with his sisters, feel what none can feel, because even birds of the forest needs a sanctuary. When the sun sets, they need to have a place to go and catch themselves. And so it is us as human beings. You never know the pain of losing a mother up until she goes. And we can only, those of us who still have our mothers can only imagine the pain that they go through. But we can also know the love that we have for our mothers and our fathers, what it feels like. We can only imagine. But be comforted in the knowledge that she is with her maker. Now it's the other difficult moment to get the mother to come and speak to us. I do not know whether she's going to do it herself or there is an assigned person to come and speak for and on her behalf. You may need to allow her some moment to regain her composure and gather her strength while you are playing the music. If she's going to come, may we get somebody to really assist her to ascend to the podium. Unless it's better and comfortable that she speaks from where she is.
This is why I love you. Oh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me. The stars have all aligned, and right now is the perfect time to say I love you, 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 I do. This is why I love you. This is why I love you. Because you love me. You love me. This is why I love you. Oh, this is why I love you. Because you love me. I found love in you, and no other love will do. That's why I love you.
Ruate nga tshifhinga hetshi tsha u konḓa nga u rali ndi khou tou konḓelela u ima. Nṋe ane vha khou mbona hafha, nṋe ndi pfhi Megi wa Rambau, ane khotsi ya mufu Lizzy ni ṅwana wa miyanga we vha mama vha ntsiela. U ṱutshelwa nga ṅwana wa khaladzi yanga ho vha shoko, rine ro vha ro ḓi dzulela ri songo vhuya ra humbula uri muḓini wa khaladzi yanga Manuel hu nga bvelela zwo raliho. Zwino nṋe ndo imela vha Rambau sa musi ndo rali muḓini wa Rambau ro sala ri vhavhili fhedzi, nṋe na Onika. Nṱhani ha vhana vha Rambau vhe ra vha ro bebiwa ri 6, ha ṱuwa 4 yoṱhe ndi tshi khou katela na khaladzi yanga Manuel khotsi ya mufu. Zwino ro zhakwa ndi ngoho, a thi ḓivhi uri ndi nga ri mini. Ndi na vha Rambau vhoṱhe vhaṅwe vha songo konaho u swika vha zwi vhona zwifhinga zwa zwino ri a kaleliwa ndi zwifhinga zwa dzi COVID a ro ngo tea u wanala ri vhanzhi vhanzhi vho ḓo vha vho wana ro ḓadza hoṱhe hafhanoni fhedziha na u konḓelela hanga mwali wanga Grace nṋe ni dzhie sa khaladzi yanga Manuel vhana vha khaladzi yanga Manuel vho salaho kha vha ha maḓuvha rine ri ḓo vha ṱanganedza u ṱuwa ha Lizzy a zwimbi u fhela ha vhushaka ha Rambau vhone vha kha ḓi vha makoti wa hashu vha kha ḓi vha muhalivho wanga a thina maipfi manzhi ndo imela vha Rambau vhoṱhe i ri muya wa ṅwana wa khaladzi yanga Lizzy u eḓele nga mulalo
Excelling of Fifi. Oh,
death is untimely. It's untimely because it is never expected. It is untimely because we never get used to it. No matter how often and how many times it strikes, we just never get used to it. And for that reason, it will never remain untimely, and when it happens, it will shake us, it will disturb us, and it will pain us. Now we are on item number 4. It's for the reading of the obituary, and on the program it says that it shall be done by Mr. Koketso Letswalo. As the obituary is read, I will ask that those who are able to stand up do so, and as soon as the obituary is read, the pastor will take over and will tell you when to sit down. That's all.
Goodbye, England's rose. May you ever grow in our hearts. You are the grace that placed yourselves where lives were torn apart.
Ke a le dumeletsa ka moka nna ke nna Koketso Letswalo ke tlo go bala obituary ya my former boss Miss Rambau. Lizzy Tshavhungwe Rambau was born on the Lizzy Rambau was the firstborn of late Vumfariseni Emmanuel Rambau and Grace Chaneo Rambau Matumba. She was born in 1968, December 12, at Chakuma village. Lizzy Rambau studied junior primary school at Chakuma Primary School, where she completed Standard 2 and then moved to Rau Zata Primary School in Midland, Soweto to continue with her grade 3 and grade 4. Her parents moved to Thohoyandou local township at PE East and then continued with her Standard 5 at Chiluvi Primary School. She attended her secondary education in Thohoyandou Secondary School up to Form 3. From there, her parents moved to Thohoyandou Golgotha and she moved to Tumbilwi Secondary, where she completed her Form 4 and Form 5. She started her education at University of the North, now known as University of Limpopo, and obtained BProc and LLB degree. In 1995, when Justice Center opened its first ever office in Vembe area, She became one of the first group of candidate attorneys when it was still based at the University of Venda under the directorship of late Negota KS. After completing her articles, she joined Khartoum Mulwezi Attorneys as a professional assistant. In 1999, she teamed up with the late Lutendo Benedict Sigogo and Lefudo Matobo to establish Matobo Rambau and Sigogo Attorneys. The law firm grew from strength to strength, and it is a nation pride of South Africa, as it represented black excellence in environment where black partnership does not last long. It has produced many outstanding lawyers who played influential role in our local, provincial, national, and international stages. In 2017, she was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Black Lawyers Association. In 2018, she was invited to the bench to serve the country as an acting judge of the High Court in Polokwane and Toyando. She has been a member of BLA, Toyando Attorneys Association, from 1999 to date of her departure, where she contributed immensely to career growth of many advocates in our province and beyond, because of her strict belief in sharing work with councils. She was a very strict person when it comes to ethics and good coexistence with fellow human beings. She is a co-director at Matobo Rambau of Attorneys from its inception in 1999. In 2017, she established One Oak Lodge, which is situated at Mshawane village. Rambau is blessed with two daughters, Katuchero, Kensani and Patuchero, and one grandson, Luwane. She is survived by her mother, Chanel. She is survived by her mother, Chanel Grace, two sisters, Navani, Avalatani, and one brother, Munyaziwa. Thank you.
Kamvulele ngapha ndikolibuwa dzina la murena kalere ndiwe atinga ḓo vhuya nda fhedza tshifhinga ndi nga shumisa fhedzi ṱhamusi 15 minutes ngori ari yo kerekeni. Hallelujah. ariyo kerekeni zvino risiwo kerekeni ritova pano rufunira vo Lizzy ndikotoma ngauri vamuta mukeguru vo Grace vane vohwara vo Lizzy 9 month yothe hapa ngangu mukavo nowe yalira vapfesa vutongo kufirisa rine rothe ngauri ndi mme na vana vo Lizzy kensani pathuchedzo na vona u ṱutshelwa nga mme zwi a vhavha ari vha sa zwiḓivhi zwo ri ṱutshelwa nga mme zwi a vhavha vha sa ṱutshelwa nga mme kha vha lindele ḓuvha ḽine vha vha ṱuwa vha ḓo nga sa nṋe we nda xela nḓila zwino mme vha tshi ṱuwa zwi a vhavha vhukuma khathihi na dzi siblings vharathu vha vo Lizzy na muṱa woṱhe ndi khou ni resha dzinani ḽa Jesu Kristo nda dovha nda ni vhudza uri tshilidzi tsho ni eḓana mudzimu vha hone roṱhe ri ḓo ṱuwa shangoni nahone ri a zwiḓivha zwa uri ri ḓo ṱuwa ndi ngazwo muṅwe na muṅwe o dzulaho hafha a huna u dzulaho hafha a songo lugisela uri a tshi ḓo ṱuwa zwithu zwi tea u itisa hani zwa mbulungo yawe zwenezwo zwi amba uri ḓo ṱuwa nṋe ti khou tou vha ṱuledzela aro na u ṱuledzela ndi vhone vhaṋe vho ḓi ṱuledzelaho zwino roṱhe hafha ri a zwiḓivha zwo ri ḓo ṱuwa uri ḓo ṱuwa lini ndi tshiphiri tshihulu tsha mudzimu hango u tshi vhudza na muthihi ende anga tshi vhudzi muthu roṱhe ri a ḓivha zwo ro begwa lini mara ri ḓo ṱuwa lini a ri zwi ḓivhi na hanefha ro kuvhangana hafha ṋamusi hu na ane a ḓo vha mafromu ra tevhela ngoralo ndo zwi pfha hafha vho Lufuno vho Mathobo vha tshi khou amba vha khou sumbedza uri vha vha sa vha zwi humbula uri after a week hu ḓo vha hu na vhuṱambo ho tou raliwa zwino u ṱuwa zwo tou ralo ndi khou pfhuka hafho ndi khou ri vhoramilayo noṱhe no ḓaho u kunguwedze ḽi ḓuvha ḽa mushumisani na vhoiwe ndi khou ni resha dzinani ḽa Jesu Kristo hafha vho Mavhoku vhono vha mpfarela case murahu hangei ndo no ya ofisini yavho ya winiwa anga vha si tsha nḓivha u khou sokou ri umukalaha zwi khou tou itisa hani hoyu Lizzy yo ṱuwaho nṋe ndi tshi vhuya fhano Venḓa ndi tshi bva hangei he ya vha u tshi pfhi Pietersburg vho vha vhone loyara yanga ya u thoma hangei vho Mulovhedzi vha vhone muhulwane zwino ndo thoma ḓivha vho Lizzy haningei vho Mulovhedzi hafha tsini na bada ndi hone nda thoma vha ḓivha hone a thi nga ambi zwiṅwe zwinzhi ngauri a thi ngo ḓela hezwo zwino ndi ḓo dzhia 15 minutes u vha na maipfhi a u vha ṱuṱuwedza ndi khou vha ṱuṱuwedza fhasi ha ṱhoho ine ya ri mudzimu ya vha funa nda ri khoma u na mushumo navho nda dovha nda ri khoma vha songo ṱuwa fhano shangoni vha songo u ita ndi khou dovholola number 1 mudzimu ya vha funa khoma u na mushumo navho khoma vha songo ṱuwa fhano shangoni vha songo u ita zwino ndi ḓo humbela vho judge kha vha ḓi hafha tsini vha mbalele vha mbalele itshi tshiṱori u bva kha verse 30 vha gume hafha kha I think it's 37 ndi to balelwa nga judge vana maiki wavho
I take off my specs. It reads as follows. Is the story of a good Samaritan. Jesus replied with an illustration. A Jewish man was traveling on a trip from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he was attacked by bandits. They stripped him of his clothes and money, beat him up, and left him half dead beside the road. By chance, a Jewish priest came along, but when he saw the man lying there, he crossed to the other side of the road and passed him by. A temple assistant walked over and looked at him lying there, but he also passed by on the other side. Then a despised Samaritan came along, and when he saw the man, he felt deep pity. Kneeling beside him, the Samaritan soothed his wounds with medicine and bandaged them. Then he put the man on his own donkey and took him to an inn, where he took care of him. The next day, he handed the innkeeper 2 pieces of silver and told him to take care of the man. If his bill runs higher than that, he said, I'll pay the difference the next time I'm here. Now, which of these 3 would you say was a neighbor to the man who was attacked by bandits? Jesus asked. The man replied, the one who showed him mercy.
Abaimenepo bambalele opesera ndikono amba nichiwamba zvino nditoamba ndisa udombodi tabanyi. It's 2 Peter chapter 3, I think it's verse 9. Where is verse 9? Yeah, verse 9.
2 Peter verse 9 reads as follows. The Lord isn't really being slow about his promise to return, as some people think. No, he is being patient for your sake. He does not want anyone to perish, so he is giving more time for everyone to repent.
Thank you. Karabel. Anyway, if labokeli rolivara nenga slita rucheze zwabudu firisa mzimu muyamketwa bane babananne barengango mukanne kabali perekedze zimbiruni zarine rotero dzura hafa rituo na zverafara nga dzimbiru uitera machiro ashu ngori rinechirizi chikadiva chorifara rikadichira volizi wotuwa nga dzina la Jesu. Amen. Ndiko livo ichi chipinga che bamunta batonthompa bukuma uri vodakadaka vade vave na maipfi auri tutuwedza samunta. Na ndikothoma ndikuvavudza apa ndidothoma nga vorufuno vosalawo na mushumo hula uri vasungu voye vapfera mbilu valambilu vaditotekanya vadigodekanya chilidzi cho vaedhana kava ivoshuma mudzimu vadomuvona uri zvidoisani phanda asi mafungwa avo ndi mafungwa a murena vone kavambe na murena udovalaedza uri zvichimbilisani ende zvidochimbila dzina la Jesu. Ndidove ndivudze vamunta mkegulu na vana vamufu uri chilidzi cho vaedhana vone vosala nga ichi chipinga vasingotuwa mudzimoto rikavasale zvino ichi chipinga kavachishumisera ubindulisa uri dzina la murena lirendiwa hapa vuchironi rinesa vathu riadinwa nga human nature mvelo ya muntu hei mvelo aringotoirenga vengeleni aringoiwana chikoloni rotoima madhamuni. Haleluya. Huna zwithu zwera zwimama zwine ahuna na muthu na muthihi na miyavo na khotsi yavo na lawyer yavo na dokotela yavo ani anga zwishandukisa. Zwimwe zwera mama ndi mbiti mwana mtukutuku ukhoyu ukolira ende uadiva lamu yawe nawo asaboni achilira na mme vazwidiva zori icho chililo chikwamba uri ndina ndala ndikonyago mama ende mme vaamba naye asapfi vari ndikouda kaime nditomoitera khotsi yawe tiye vaamba vachiyange volenga hokula kwana kutukutuku kusambi kusina nungo kusina manda vachiri damukeli mama hokula kwana kuya kona ujia ili adamu kakwazura nga chanda uri ndokwatanga manda volenga zvino idzo mbiti dzibvapi roto dzimama ndinga zvovuchironi yashu mudzimu achitodeya nga chimwe chipinga ende chipinga chone ndi chechi zvino hapa rikopfa chitori cha mumwe muthu weyava urwa nga mabhanditi hapa vuchironi rine rothe rodzula hapa ritonga vathu voruonga mabhanditi nga magevenga nga magevenga vuchiro vuya huvadza muthu vuchiro vuyatadza muthu vamba vavothe vamba vokhurumela nguvo vuchiro chikovashengedza zvithu zvisakuchimbira vathu vachikovavenga na vane vasavavenge vasikovona ngari vakombenga zvino hoyu munna odohuvadziwa nga magevenga achihuvadziwa nga magevenga hukusvika mufunzi muhulwane not mufunzi mutuku mufunzi muhulwane ukoto kakaka achiri malo ari hoyu mutu ohuvara nga maanḓa atiko nyago ufa vhutanzi ende atiko nyago dzhena khakhathini ngauri hezwi zwi a ḓura uri hoyu muthu ḽiṅwe ḓuvha ya fela zwanḓani zwanga o vha na zwithu zwinzhi a mbo ḓi phepha nga thungo a shavha. Ha ḓa wa vhuvhili hoyu o vha si mufunzi muhulwane mara vha mufunzi a tshi shuma nga ngomu gerekeni na ene a tshi swika a vhona zwo to ralo ari hezwi a zwiimeli a si zwanga. Wa vhuraru ndi muthu o nyadziseaho nga maanḓa wa Musamaria. Musamaria a tshi vhona uḽa muthu mbilu yawe ya khathuwa ndori mudzimu ya vhafuna una mushumo navho vha songo ṱuwa vha songo shuma fhano shangoni ende mudzimu ha shumisi muthu ngori o ambara sutu nga nnḓa. Mudzimu ha shumisi muthu nga mulandu wa uri una zwigede hana zwigede. Mudzimu u shumisa muthu nga mulandu wa uri mbilu yawe ito itisa hani ende murena u khou vha ṱoḓa uri a tshune mbilu yavho ive straight. Haleluya. Hoyu muthu ari a ti koni u fhira zwithu zwo to raloho a ite hezwiḽa zwe a zwi ita zwoṱhe u ṋamedza uḽo muthu kha goloi kharo tshino tshifhinga na malofha zwo siko vhilingana a sina ndavha uri u ya fela goloini yangana kana mini a muisa hanengeyo tshibadela a tshi muisa tshibadela a badela na dzi tshelede o mu ṱolela nga matshelo zwa thithisa na program ya homuna we a vha a lwendoni. Haleluya. Mudzimu ya vhafuna una mushumo nabo ende ho mushumo vha songo ṱuwa vha songo ita. Zwino tshiṱori tshi fhela hafha upfhi na zwino wa hanga ndi nnyi wa muṅwe na muṅwe muthu o sikwaho nga mudzimu ndi wa havho. Muthu muṅwe na muṅwe o sikwaho nga mudzimu vhone vha kona u ita tshiṅwe tshithu vhutshiloni hawe zwa muthusa. Haleluya. Ende ndi zwone zwine mudzimu a khou ṱoḓa zwone ngori mudzimu ndi lufuno u a ri funa ende u khou ṱoḓa na riṋe ri tshi funa vhaṅwe mulambo wa lufuno wa elela. Vha singo sedza kha hu na vhathu vhavhili vho fhira hafha vhane vhone vha nga vha blame ende sa zwino sa musi vha khou blame vhaṅwe vhathu vhutshiloni uri mugede o funa u nyitela 1 2 3 a si ene o nangwaho nga mudzimu uri a vha itele ende havhaḽa vhanna vhavhili vho fhiraho vhahuluhulu gerekeni mudzimu wa vha songo nanga vhone mara wo vha mushumo wavho. Zwino muthu we a vha a tshi nyadzisea o vha ene o itaho zwithu zwihuluhulu zwa tshidza muṅwe muthu. Mudzimu u khou vha ṱoḓa nga itshi tshifhinga tshine mudzimu a khou amba na riṋe vhathu nga nḓila dzo fhambanaho. Zwa zwino ro ḓi banditsha hafha ro ḓi maska roṱhe a ri ngo to funa ndi tshifhinga tshine mudzimu a tshi ḓivha o tshi ḓivha na zwo ri tshi ḓo ḓa na ro ḓo itea mini u ḓo ṱuwa vho nyasala vho nyi na uri zwi ḓo fhelela lini u a zwi ḓivha. A si mafhungo ashu o ṱuwa ra musengisa mafhungo ashu ndi u ita zwo fanelaho. Zwino nṋe ndi khou ri vhone vha sathu ṱuwa fhano shangoni kha vha fhedzisele vha murenani. Haleluya. Kha vha fhedzisele vha ngapfhi vha murena are uri vha vhono gomala ngo sa ya kerekeni kha vha vhuyele kerekeni nga sonda yenino. Mudzimu ya vhafuna o vha lindela ende mudzimu ya ku vha shumisa tshiṅwe tshithu vha sa ṱuwa fhano shangoni vha tshi shumelwa vhudele dzina ḽa murena ḽi rendiwe. Vha songo ḓi nyadza hoyu munna u pfhi vha tshi nyadzisea mara a sa sedze kha u nyadzisea a sedza kha uri ndi nga ita mini. Zwino hezwi mudzimu a tshi vha funa ndi ene muṋe ano khou vha vhidzela kha Mateo 11:28 ari ḓani ha nṋe noṱhe no netaho nṋe a ri ngo neta hafha ri khou hwenya mara nga ngomu muyani ro neta. Ndi ngazwo na kerekeni vha si tshaya zwi khou amba uri mini vho neta. Ndi ngazwo vha tshi kwata vha fhedza miṅwedzi zwi khou amba uri vho itani vho neta. Ndi ngazwo vha tshi ita zwigede na zwigede hezwo zwithu vha nga zwi amba ndi yone saini khulwane nga maanḓa ya uri yo neta mudzimu u khou vha ṱoḓa. Zwino mudzimu ha right muthu off ndi vhathu vha no ḓi writer off. Mudzimu u nyaga muthu ano ḓi sedza mushumo wa mmbya nṋe ndi ḓivha mivhili ndi tshi aluwa mmbya yo vha i tshi shumisiwa nga maanḓa u zwima kana u linda. Zwino heyi mmbya yo zwima muṋe wayo wa i ṱhogomela nga maanḓa uri ḓo mu farela muvhuḓa kana ntsa a wana tshisevho tsha ṋama. Haleluya. Mara zwa zwino ri fuwela uri dzi linde miḓini and so on. Zwino mmbya arali ya bva maḓaru ya bva gwembe i nga si tsha zwima i ya onda ya nengisa mara muṋe wayo u ḓo takuwa a i ṱoḓela mishonga a i fida uri mavhudzi a dovhe a mele i dovhe ite mushumo we ya vha i tshi ita wone. Ro dzula hafha ri nga vha ri na magwembe ri nga vha ro bva maḓaru mudzimu uri funa ro raro u khou ri iḓani ndi ḓo ni ilafha ndi a zwiḓivha zwo uri ni tea u ilafhiswa hani uri ni dovhe ni gidime uri dovhe ni penye zwi vhe zwavhuḓi vha songo ḓi writer off kha vha ye murenani vho to ralo vha songo ḓi lingedza u ḓi rula a vha nga zwikoni zwi itiwa nga murena ene muṋe ende zwa vhuya zwa thoma it's a process and a lifetime process roṱhe kha ri fhelele kerekeni ri tshi ṱuwa fhano shangoni ri ṱuwe ri tshi ḓivha mudzimu ro ita zwoṱhe zwine mudzimu a khou ri zwi iteni ni sa ṱuwa fhano shangoni a huna na muthu na muthihi ane mudzimu a nga si mushumise a vha tei u tou thoma vha vha mufunzi hayi tenda vha ḓivha mudzimu vha ḓo kona u vhona vhaṅwe vhathu sa vhathu vha songo kwatela vhathu vha ri mugedo o funa u nyitela hezwi ya ngo ita ndi nga si ambe naye na mini kha vha mulitshe o vha funa u mpha tshelede hayi ndi yawe a songo vhafha ngo vhafha vha songo vilela vhone kha vha sedze kha mudzimu una muṅwe ano ḓo kwamiwa nga mudzimu a ḓa vhafha kha ri rabele dediwe ri khou livhuwa tshilidzi tshavho ro ṱuṱuwedzana ri khou guma hafha nga dzina ḽa Jesu amen.
Have the voice to say it like the pastor did, but you should know mudzimu wa vafuna comma. Thank you, Pastor Dagata. Now is the time for announcement. Shall we have Mr. Lutendo Nzeru to come and make announcements? Oh, Kebabatsine.
Hello. Rambau na muṱavhari vha khou livhuwa sapoto ye vha i vhona kha vhathu na vhathu vhoṱhe vho kona u swika. Mushumo u khou pfhi matshelo u ḓo thoma nga 6 ya matsheloni fhano muḓini ra kona u takuwa ra ya mavhidani ha Nthabalala ra kona u dovha ra vhuya fhano mushumo wa ṋamusi tshi fhela afha zwiḽiwa ri ḓo zwi wana ṱhafulani hanefho nnḓa ndaa.
Thank you, Mr. Nzeru. On my own behalf, let me take this opportunity to thank everyone for the cooperation showed during this memorial service of my black and beautiful sister, Lizzy Rambau. It was indeed very easy, Mr. Matobo. When he asked me to come and run the program, I said to him, I know it's easy. You just call one speaker after the other. And so I did. Thanks for the guidance and thanks for the instructions. But to the family, thanks for the privilege and honor. And shall we now call the pastor to come and close the service in prayer? Thank you so much. Vunzeru vho ri vho hangwa zwiṅwe zwithu vha khou humbela uri vhathu vha vha fe nḓevhe.
A ri tou hangwa zwori vhathu vha sino transport upfhi matshelo u ḓo vha na basi line ḽa ḓo hwala vhathu vha 40 ḽi tshi vha isa mavhidani vhane vha sino transport.
Zwo fala thiri.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long